Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ. Today I want to talk about this is what happens when you speak like a billionaire. There is a spiritual law that governs the words we speak, and many don't realize that the tongue holds the power of life and death. The words we declare are seeds sown into the invisible field of divine substance, and those seeds must bear fruit. A billionaire doesn't speak from lack. A billionaire speaks from a place of unwavering faith, abundance, and expectation. And as children of God, so should we. You see, words are not just sounds, they are spiritual forces. When you speak boldly, with gratitude, with purpose. When you speak as though the wealth is already yours. You align with the infinite supply of the universe. And as Florence Scovel Shinn taught, your word is your wand. With it, you bless or you bind. You build or you break. Today, I will show you what truly happens when you begin to speak like a billionaire. Not just financially, but in mindset, in spirit, and in manifestation. It is not about arrogance. It is about divine authority. The authority you were born with. The truth is, the moment you speak in faith, heaven moves. The moment you speak with conviction, circumstances shift. So prepare yourself, not just to change your language, but to change your life. Your words are more than sounds, they are spiritual tools, divine commands, and energetic frequencies that shape your reality. When Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Your word is your wand," she meant that whatever you speak into the atmosphere, with conviction and faith, becomes your experience. Words are creative forces, not passive expressions. They carry the power to build, to open doors, to rearrange circumstances, and to call things that are not as though they were. When you speak from divine abundance, you activate the law of spiritual substance, the unseen supply that responds to your belief and your voice. Most people speak from fear, lack, and limitation, not realizing they are reinforcing the very conditions they wish to escape. But those who speak like billionaires, not just financially, but in consciousness, understand the sacred responsibility of the spoken word. The world will reflect back to you the vibration of your most dominant declarations. When you say, "I never have enough," the universe says, "So be it." When you say, "I am always provided for," the universe again says, "So be it." Divine intelligence does not discern between what is good or bad for you. It simply responds to the energetic tone of your words. Speak limitation, and you experience limitation. Speak overflow, and you align with overflow. A billionaire does not talk about what they cannot afford. They talk about possibilities, expansion, opportunity, and increase. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. There is a divine template of abundance coded within each of us, but it must be activated through language. Just as God spoke the world into existence, you speak your world into form. You are made in the image of a creator who uses speech as power. That power is now yours. Many people pray for breakthrough while canceling their blessings with words of doubt and defeat. They say, "God, please help me," and then immediately follow it with, "I don't think this is going to work out." That double-mindedness breaks the circuit of manifestation. You must learn to be intentional with your language. Speak with confidence, even before the evidence shows up. Speak healing while the pain still lingers. Speak provision while the bills are due. That is not delusion, that is spiritual mastery. Billionaire consciousness speaks from the end result, not the current reality. And so must you, if you want to transcend cycles of lack and limitation. Speaking from divine abundance means you are no longer echoing the fears of the world. You're no longer repeating what others say about the economy, inflation, or impossibility. You become a spiritual authority in your own life, refusing to agree with lack, no matter how loud it gets. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that nothing is too good to be true and nothing is too wonderful to happen. When you adopt this belief and support it with speech, you invite miracles. You say things like, "Everything I need is already on its way," and "unexpected blessings are chasing me down." And because the subconscious mind does not argue, it accepts whatever it is told with repetition and emotion. you begin to attract experiences that match the frequency of those words. Do not underestimate the damage of careless speech. When you say, I can't catch a break, or money is always tight, you reinforce a covenant with scarcity, and heaven cannot override what you consistently affirm. That's why it's not enough to pray. You must also speak in agreement with what you've prayed for. You must become the echo of answered prayer. A billionaire in spirit understands this and disciplines their mouth accordingly. They use affirmations, declarations, and divine truth as their daily vocabulary. They don't speak about the mountain, they speak to the mountain. And they do it with authority. The moment you begin to speak from divine abundance, you tap into a law higher than the law of appearances. You activate the law of supply, which governs all of creation. There is no limit to what can come to you when your words are aligned with truth. But this alignment requires practice. You must train your tongue to speak only what you desire to experience. You must speak as if the invisible has already become visible. You must refuse to speak failure, even when things fall apart. This is the spiritual confidence that makes the impossible possible. Words are seeds planted in the soil of consciousness. Speak life, and you will reap life. Speak increase, and you will reap increase. It is written, let the weak say, I am strong. Why? Because your words are not meant to reflect your condition, they are meant to transform it. When you speak from divine abundance, you are not lying to yourself. You are prophesying to your future. You are giving heaven permission to intervene. And the more you do this, the more natural it becomes. You begin to carry yourself differently, think differently, act differently, and eventually live differently. The key is consistency. You must guard your mouth like a gate. What you allow to pass through it either blesses or binds your life. Keep it filled with words that affirm your worth, your wealth, your purpose, and your divine identity. When you speak from divine abundance, you are no longer hoping for change. You are commanding it. And heaven responds. A billionaire mindset does not wait to see the results before it speaks. It declares the outcome long before it arrives. This is a spiritual principle rooted in faith. As Florence Scovel Shinn taught, faith is not hoping, it is knowing. It is the deep, unwavering conviction that what you desire already exists in the invisible realm and is simply waiting for your word to call it forth. When you speak the end from the beginning, you are aligning with the divine blueprint already written for your life. You are not begging for a miracle. You are activating it through bold declaration. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual law in motion. The law does not respond to fear, confusion, or delay. It responds to authority. When you speak from the end, you speak with authority. A billionaire does not ask, what if I fail? They declare, this will succeed. They don't say, I hope this opportunity comes through. They say, I expect this opportunity to arrive in perfect timing. Why? Because their mindset is wired for manifestation, not hesitation. This is the same mindset we must adopt spiritually. God does not operate in hesitation. He operates in declaration. All throughout Scripture, we see this principle: declare it, and it shall be established. The moment you decide to speak from the outcome rather than the obstacle, you activate a force greater than logic. You engage spiritual law. Billionaires of spirit understand that energy precedes matter, and speech directs energy. When you say, I am wealthy, even before the bank reflects it, you are not lying. You are creating. You are speaking from the place of divine identity, not physical circumstance. You are speaking from what Florence Scovel Shinn called the realm of perfect ideas, where every good and perfect gift already exists. You don't speak from your environment, you speak to it. The world may look chaotic, but your words declare peace. Your situation may feel stuck, but your words declare movement. This is how spiritual masters and billionaires alike shape their worlds, not by reporting the facts, but by declaring the truth. To speak the end from the beginning means you train your imagination and your words to dwell in the outcome, not the process. Most people focus on the how it will happen, how long it will take, how it will be solved. But the billionaire mindset does not obsess over the how. It focuses on the what, and trusts that the how will reveal itself. Your job is not to force the manifestation, but to declare it boldly and align with it fully. Your language must become the language of completion. You say, "It is done." You say, "The right doors are already opening." You say, "What belongs to me cannot miss me." These are not just affirmations, they are spiritual decrees backed by divine law. This mindset refuses to be moved by delay, discouragement, or distraction. It keeps its eyes on the finish line, and its mouth in agreement with victory. You must understand that the moment you speak from the end, you shift timelines. You accelerate divine order. You send a signal into the spiritual realm that you are ready to receive. The universe does not delay out of punishment, it delays out of misalignment. When your words contradict your desire, you create confusion. But when your words match the outcome you seek, you create clarity, and clarity is magnetic. The billionaire mindset speaks as if the deal is already closed, the book is already published, the healing is already complete, the vision is already funded. You don't wait for the email, the confirmation, or the applause. You speak it before the world agrees with it. You speak it until your mind, your body, and your environment align with it. You speak it until it becomes more real to you than what you see. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "Believe you have received it, and it shall be yours." Not believe after it comes, but before. Your words must be pregnant with belief. This level of speaking requires discipline. It requires you to silence the noise around you and amplify the voice within you. It requires you to speak life in a culture addicted to speaking doubt. You will be tempted to give in to fear, to lower your language to match your circumstances. But the billionaire mindset holds the line. It does not speak out of frustration. It speaks from vision. And that vision, when spoken with boldness, becomes your reality. Florence Scovel Shinn said that words and thoughts are a form of radioactivity, sending out vibrations that attract their match. When you speak from the end, you are broadcasting the frequency of fulfillment. And fulfillment must find you. Many people try to visualize success while still speaking failure. They imagine abundance but talk about how hard everything is. That contradiction neutralizes their power. But when your inner vision and outer speech are aligned, you become unstoppable. Your declarations become like arrows aimed at a target. They may be invisible at first, but they are in motion. Keep speaking the end. Keep declaring the outcome. Keep aligning your voice with the vision. This is how billionaires of faith and spirit move. They do not react. They declare, and the universe, governed by divine law, responds accordingly. What you speak consistently, you invite spiritually. Your words are not empty expressions. They are invitations sent into the unseen realms, summoning experiences, relationships, and outcomes into your life. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is like a boomerang. It always returns to you, sometimes quickly, sometimes delayed, but always faithfully. The law of vibration governs this spiritual truth. Every word carries a frequency, a vibration that resonates with the invisible field of energy surrounding you. When you speak in alignment with abundance, love, and confidence, you tune your vibration to receive those same qualities back. When you speak fear, doubt, and limitation, you emit a lower frequency and attract more of the same into your reality. The law of vibration is always working, whether you're conscious of it or not. Just like the law of gravity doesn't stop because someone is unaware of it, the law of vibration continues to attract matching experiences to the dominant vibration you're emitting through your thoughts and words. The spoken word is especially powerful because it combines thought, emotion, and sound. It creates a ripple effect in both the physical and spiritual realms. Every time you declare something with belief, you are shifting energy. You are setting a new pattern into motion. The more you speak a certain way, the more the spiritual atmosphere arranges itself to deliver what you have spoken. This is why consistent speech is crucial. Speaking abundance once in a while, but constantly complaining about lack, creates a vibration of confusion. The universe mirrors clarity, not contradiction. Your spiritual frequency must be consistent with the reality you desire. If you say, "I'm always so broke," even as a joke, you are reinforcing a vibration of scarcity. But if you consistently say, "I am divinely provided for," you are affirming your connection to infinite supply. That repetition builds spiritual momentum. You are laying down energetic tracks for your blessings to follow. Speaking consistently is not about faking positivity or pretending everything is perfect. It's about spiritual maturity, choosing to speak life, even when life looks messy. It is about aligning your voice with your vision, not with your circumstances. Billionaires, whether in money, purpose, or spirit, do not allow temporary setbacks to dictate their declarations. They understand that what they say determines the atmosphere around them. They curate their speech the way an artist curates a masterpiece. Each word is intentional, each phrase infused with energy. Your subconscious mind also responds to what you say consistently. The subconscious cannot differentiate between what is real and what is vividly spoken or imagined. When you repeatedly say, "I am successful," your subconscious begins to operate from that belief, influencing your habits, your decisions, and your reactions. When you say, "I attract wealth with ease," your inner world starts creating pathways for that statement to manifest. Your nervous system, your emotional state, and your outer actions begin to follow the vibration of your consistent speech. This is why affirmations work. Not because they are magical words, but because they help you reprogram your vibration. The law of vibration responds not to what you want, but to what you believe, and belief is shaped through repetition. The more you speak from a place of truth, the more you begin to embody that truth. When you say daily, "Everything is working out for me," you begin to walk with a different confidence. When you say, "Money flows to me freely and abundantly," you begin to expect provision rather than fear lack. You become a magnet for what matches your words. Think of your words as spiritual seeds. Every time you speak, you plant something. A negative comment plants worry, fear, and resistance. A faith-filled statement plants trust, peace, and opportunity. The soil of the universe is always fertile. It will grow whatever you plant, good or bad. This is why idle words can be dangerous. Casual complaints, sarcastic remarks, or self-deprecating jokes may seem harmless, but they carry vibration too. They contribute to your overall spiritual frequency. To speak like a billionaire in spirit, you must discipline your mouth to only plant what you are willing to harvest. Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized that spiritual law is impersonal. It responds to consistency. You cannot override the law by occasional declarations of faith. You must build a lifestyle of intentional language. Speak your vision while you're in the valley. Speak healing while you're still in pain. Speak overflow while you're managing little. The power lies in consistency. The more consistent your speech, the stronger your vibration, and the faster the results align. Billionaire-minded individuals are highly aware of the energetic weight of their words. They do not speak defeat. They do not reinforce obstacles. They speak as though their success is inevitable. They understand that the vibration of victory draws in the elements of victory. This is how faith becomes tangible. Faith is not silent, it speaks, and it speaks often. When you speak consistently in alignment with your desires, you send out a frequency that commands attention. That vibration goes ahead of you, making crooked paths straight, drawing the right people, ideas, and resources to your door. You don't need to shout to be powerful. A whispered declaration, when charged with conviction, moves mountains in the spirit. What matters is not volume, but vibration. Speak with authority. Speak with repetition. Speak with intention. Your voice is a spiritual instrument, and the frequency you play consistently will become the song your life begins to sing. Let your words be a melody of abundance, not a dirge of doubt. To speak the language of victory, even in the midst of lack, is to operate in the highest form of faith. It is to see beyond appearances and speak from the reality of spirit, not the illusion of circumstance. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. But before he can see it in the physical, he must declare it with his mouth. Words carry spiritual authority, and when spoken in alignment with divine law, they have the power to rearrange conditions, shift outcomes, and unlock provision. When you speak like a billionaire in spirit, you are not describing what is, you are commanding what shall be. Victory is not something you wait to feel. It's something you speak until it becomes undeniable. When your physical surroundings look barren, when the bank account looks empty, when doors seem closed, that is precisely when your declarations of abundance, success, and overflow must become louder and more consistent. The world teaches us to speak what we see, but spiritual law teaches us to speak what we believe. A billionaire mindset doesn't wait for confirmation. It creates confirmation through word, belief, and vibration. To speak victory in the face of lack is not denial, it is divine alignment. In the invisible realm, every blessing, every breakthrough, and every answer already exists. But to pull it into the material world, you must act and speak as if it is already done. Florence called this the law of expectancy. You must speak what you expect, not what you fear. An expectation is most powerful when it is expressed through words. Every time you say, "I always have more than enough," you plant the seed of provision, even if your natural eyes see the opposite. The lack is temporary, but the truth is eternal. The more you align your speech with truth, the faster truth overrides the temporary illusion. When the Israelites faced the walls of Jericho, they didn't speak about how impossible the situation looked. They shouted in advance, even before a single stone had fallen. That is the model of faith-driven speech. You don't wait for the breakthrough to praise. You speak it into existence. You don't wait for clarity to declare purpose. You proclaim it even when the path is unclear. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. Sight will tell you what is. Faith-filled speech tells you what will be. A billionaire in consciousness knows that words are the bridge between the now and the next. Speaking victory in lack means you are calling forth the truth of abundance from a spiritual bank account that never runs dry. It is not your job to figure out where the supply will come from. Your job is to speak the supply into motion. The how belongs to divine intelligence. Your responsibility is to speak from the finished vision. Declare, "This is already handled," even when nothing has moved. Say, "Everything I touch prospers," even when things seem to be falling apart. These are not empty phrases, they are spiritual instruments. Each word is a tool carving out the future in alignment with heaven's blueprint. The reason so many remain stuck in cycles of lack is because they speak lack with conviction. They speak debt, delays, and difficulty with such belief that it becomes their default vibration. But when you begin to speak victory, daily, consistently, unapologetically, your vibration begins to shift. Your mind adjusts, your emotions follow, your posture changes, and the world around you starts to rearrange to match your new inner frequency. Speaking like a billionaire does not require money in the bank. It requires truth in your mouth. It is easy to speak powerfully when everything is flowing. But true spiritual authority is revealed when you can speak powerfully in the face of contradiction. Florence taught that spiritual law does not respond to appearances. It responds to words. You do not negotiate with lack, you override it with speech. When Jesus faced the storm, he didn't talk about the wind and the waves. He spoke peace. When he stood before Lazarus' tomb, he didn't describe the grief, he commanded life. And so must you. Speak peace in your storm. Speak life in your dead places. Speak wealth where others see struggle. Words spoken in faith are like arrows. They travel into the unseen and strike the target long before the results are visible. The world may call it delusion, but in the kingdom of God, it is divine strategy. Your mouth becomes a vessel through which the supernatural enters the natural. You are not powerless, you are a creator through Christ. Speak as one. You don't have to wait for the environment to change. Your words will change the environment. When you declare healing, resources, favor, and solutions, you are putting spiritual law into motion. And what is declared long enough, boldly enough, and consistently enough must eventually manifest. A billionaire mindset is not one that speaks from pressure, but from power. It is not reactive, it is proactive. It sets the tone for each day through deliberate declarations. It chooses truth over facts. It speaks what is written in spirit over what is reported in the news or reflected in the mirror. You must decide every morning that your mouth will serve your mission, not your fear. That your words will speak where you are going, not where you've been. You are the prophet of your own life, and every word is a prophecy unfolding in real time. Fearful words are one of the greatest saboteurs of blessings. Every time you speak from fear, doubt, or anxiety, you place spiritual roadblocks in the path of your own progress. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that your word is your wand, and if your words are laced with fear, that wand is casting spells of defeat, delay, and discouragement. You may pray for abundance and hope for success, but if your words consistently reflect fear, you are sending out a signal that contradicts your desires. Words are not neutral. They are creative tools charged with spiritual energy. What you say, you summon. What you declare, you draw near. This is why speaking only what you wish to see materialize is a sacred discipline. Every fearful word is a seed, and every seed produces after its kind. Speak of lack, and you invite more lack. Speak of conflict, and you stir the energy of division. Speak of failure, and you begin to magnetize circumstances that reinforce defeat. The spiritual realm is not activated by intentions alone, it is moved by speech. Your words are commands, and the universe responds with complete obedience. The law is impersonal. It doesn't judge whether you're speaking faith or fear. It simply brings into form the vibration you've broadcasted through your words. When you say things like, "I can't afford that," "This probably won't work," or "I always mess things up," you are making spiritual contracts with limitation. You are binding yourself with invisible chains. These statements may feel casual or even humorous, but spiritually they are declarations, and every declaration plants a root in your consciousness. Over time, those roots grow into beliefs, and beliefs shape reality. That's why Florence emphasized guarding your tongue and speaking with precision. Words are not just for communication. They are instruments of creation. Fearful speech is often unconscious. It becomes a habit, a reflex, a way of coping with uncertainty. But you must rise above the culture of negative language and take authority over your vocabulary. The moment you become aware of the power of your words, you can begin to change your outcomes. Refuse to repeat statements that echo fear. Eliminate phrases like, "just my luck," "this always happens to me," or "nothing ever works out." Replace them with declarations of strength, clarity, and divine order. Speak what you want to see, not what you are afraid might happen. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending challenges don't exist. It means choosing to speak from a place of power, not panic. When facing difficulties, speak solution, not struggle. Declare, "This is being resolved," instead of, "This is a disaster." Say, "I am being guided to the right decision," instead of, "I don't know what to do." These shifts in language may seem small, but spiritually, they change everything. They realign your energy with faith, and faith is the key that unlocks doors no man can shut. When you consistently speak only what you wish to materialize, you become a magnet for miracles. Your words start to build a structure of expectancy, and the universe begins to fill it in. If you say, "I always attract favor," your spirit begins to operate in ways that draw favor. If you say, "Opportunities chase me down," your awareness sharpens, and you begin to notice doors where others see walls. Speaking like a billionaire means training your tongue to narrate the life you are creating, not the one you're trying to escape. Words of fear will always feel easier in moments of pressure, but ease is not the goal, power is. Speak what you want until it becomes the only language your spirit recognizes. Train yourself to declare victory, even when your emotions scream otherwise. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. You develop a new linguistic habit, one that speaks life into every dead situation. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her readers that faith and fear both demand to be spoken. Whichever you give voice to, that's what grows. Your environment will try to pull you into fear-based language. The news, conversations, and even your own inner critic may attempt to convince you that fear is realistic. But truth is not always loud. Truth is quiet, steady, and unchanging. And the truth is, you are not here to echo fear. You are here to declare faith. You are here to speak from divine inheritance. You are here to affirm your identity as a child of infinite supply. That identity must be spoken, affirmed, and protected daily. Speak as if the outcome is guaranteed. Speak as if the breakthrough is already in motion. Speak as if heaven is listening, because it is. Your words set the tone for your future. They carry the spiritual blueprint of what will unfold in your experience. The clearer, bolder, and more consistent your declarations, the stronger your vibration becomes. And your vibration is the magnet that draws reality to you. Refuse to speak what you fear. Refuse to speak what you don't want. Refuse to give voice to what drains your energy or diminishes your vision. Every time you open your mouth, ask yourself, is this in alignment with what I want to create? If the answer is no, don't say it. Your tongue is not just a tool, it's a temple. What you speak there will eventually show up out here. Affirmations are not just positive statements, they are spiritual decrees that carry the energy of divine authority. When you speak affirmations with belief and repetition, you are aligning yourself with the spiritual blueprint of abundance that already exists in the invisible. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that every word you speak is a mold that substance fills. That means affirmations aren't simply about feeling better. They are tools for reshaping reality. They are spoken agreements between you and the infinite supply of the universe. When you say, I am abundant, you are not trying to convince yourself of a lie. You are calling forth a truth that already belongs to you in spirit. Speaking daily prosperity truths conditions your consciousness to receive. Every time you affirm wealth, favor, and success, you are vibrating at the frequency of those outcomes. The law of vibration responds to consistency, not emotion. You don't have to feel powerful every time you speak your affirmations. You just have to speak them with conviction. Over time, your subconscious mind absorbs these truths and begins to reprogram your belief system. As your beliefs shift, so does your reality. You begin to make different choices, take bolder actions, and attract better opportunities. Not because the world changed, but because your inner alignment changed. Affirmations act as spiritual passwords, granting you access to higher states of being. Just as a password unlocks hidden systems, a spiritual affirmation unlocks the invisible flow of provision, guidance, and opportunity. Money comes to me easily and frequently. I am open to receive all the good life has for me. Every need is already met. These are not empty phrases, they are energetic commands. When spoken with faith, they activate spiritual law. They create a ripple effect that begins to organize people, resources, and circumstances in your favor. Daily repetition is essential because your mind is constantly absorbing information from the outer world, much of it rooted in fear, lack, and limitation. Affirmations serve as a protective filter. They redirect your focus to divine truth. Without them, your thoughts can easily default to survival mode, replaying worries and doubts. But when you start your day by affirming, I am a magnet for divine wealth, you begin the morning with authority rather than anxiety. You set the tone for how the rest of your day unfolds. Florence often said that your word is your wand, and the more you use it consciously, the more powerful it becomes. Just like a muscle, your speaking authority grows stronger the more you use it. Affirmations may feel strange or mechanical at first, especially if you're used to negative self-talk. But keep going. The point is not to feel a spark every time. It's to build a new inner vocabulary. That new language will eventually override the old one. What you speak becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you receive. Speaking prosperity truths daily is also an act of spiritual discipline. It means you choose to feed your faith rather than your fear. Even when outer conditions don't yet reflect wealth, you continue to affirm abundance because you know that conditions are temporary, but truth is eternal. You are not lying to yourself. You are speaking from the deeper reality that supersedes circumstances. This is how spiritual authority is exercised. You decree a thing, and it is established, not because of human effort, but because of alignment with divine law. When you speak affirmations, speak them aloud. Sound carries energy. The vibration of your voice reinforces the statement on a deeper level. Whisper it if you must, but give your words sound. The act of speaking engages your spirit, mind, and body. It turns a thought into a living declaration. You are no longer just thinking abundance. You are claiming it. You are no longer wishing for success. You are commanding it to come forth. Another powerful principle Florence emphasized is speaking in the present tense. You don't say, I will be wealthy someday. You say, I am wealthy now. You don't say, opportunities are coming. You say, opportunities are here. This is because the subconscious mind operates in the now. Future, tense statements keep your blessings out of reach. Present, tense affirmations bring the energy of what you desire into the present moment, where it can begin to manifest. Make your affirmations personal and emotionally charged. The more specific and emotionally resonant they are, the deeper they imprint. Instead of saying, I am rich, say, I am financially free, living in peace, joy, and overflow. Feel the emotion of that truth. Let it sink into your spirit. Let it become your new normal. Say it while looking in the mirror. Say it while driving, walking, or meditating. Let it become the rhythm of your inner world. Affirmations are not magic spells, they are spiritual habits. And like any habit, their power builds over time. You may not see results in a day or a week, but your energy is shifting. Your vibration is rising. Your inner world is being rewired. And because your outer world is a reflection of your inner one, results will follow. You'll notice more ease, more open doors, more inspired ideas. You'll meet the right people. You'll feel more confident. Not because something outside of you changed, but because you finally started speaking from your divine truth. Affirmations also keep you grounded when challenges arise. When old fears try to resurface, your affirmations serve as anchors. They remind you of who you are and whose you are. You speak, I am unfazed by temporary appearances. My good is unfolding now. This kind of spiritual resilience doesn't just keep you afloat. It lifts you higher. It gives you dominion over your circumstances. It helps you walk in peace, even in uncertain seasons. Because your peace is no longer based on conditions. It is based on the spiritual truths you declare every single day.